is in full swing down here in the south. It's wild, hot, and honestly, not the easiest season to garden in. But today, in this video, we are spending some time in our unruly little summer garden. We'll be harvesting a bunch, and I'll show you the lazy way I preserve things, the way that actually works for a mom with little ones and not a lot of time. We'll plant some sweet potato slips and even visit our rabbits on the way, so let's get into it. All right, we're heading outside now, basket in hand, and I've got my little garden buddy with me. This is one of my favorite ways to spend time with my kids. We're starting with the peppers, jalapenos, and little red hot chili peppers. These plants have been so reliable this season, and even just a small harvest goes a long way. I love peppers because they are so heat tolerant, but honestly, our peppers do a little better in the spring and fall because the heat can be so wicked here in South Louisiana. Right now, as we are harvesting these veggies, it has got to be pushing about 92 degrees out here. We are nice and sweaty, but we're still having a good time together. My son is 5 and he is so good at identifying everything in the garden by this age. He's been doing this since he was able to crawl. So it's really fun to have him out here showing off and even teaching me things sometimes that he will find in books that I don't even know that he has read. And just a shining moment for these passion flowers. I let them vine up this trellis with our cantaloupe, and they are doing so wonderfully. They are so gorgeous. These were a gift from my husband, and I absolutely love them.
We got 6.
These are a variety of cantaloupe that grow really well here. I cannot remember the name, but when I do, I will put it in the description below. And this is our beautiful little harvest from today. Some of these things stayed a little too long on the plant, but that's okay. We're going to figure out how to use them and not let anything go to waste. I have been rooting these sweet potato slips on my windowsill for a couple of weeks now, and it is definitely time to get them in the ground. June is a little late for me to be planting sweet potato slips, but better late than never, and we will have a great harvest regardless, considering we have a pretty year-round growing season here in Louisiana. It is monsoon season. It has been raining and raining and raining every day. Everything is so muddy and stinky and hot and just a little bit difficult this time of year, but that's okay. We are finding creative ways to stay out of the mud while we feed our sweet rabbits. This is our first year having rabbits. We alternate them from the cage to the rabbit tractor. I would not say that having them in cages is my favorite. But living where it's so rainy, we haven't found a good place in our yard to build a colony that we are totally set on just yet. But if anybody has any recommendations for rabbits in the South that are alternative to having them in cages, I would love to chat. If you want to leave a comment for me below. It's something we are just still learning. We have 8 babies, and it has definitely been a bit of a learning curve, but we are really enjoying it. So we got that bed weeded for our sweet potato slips, so I'll get those all planted in here. And in a few months, we will be harvesting some sweet potatoes. I love zinnias. They are my favorite flower to grow, as you can see. They are easy, wild, heat-loving flowers. They make the house feel so cheerful, and the yard in general with so many vibrant, beautiful colors. I highly recommend if you are wanting to grow some cut flowers. Zinnias are a super easy one to start with. We're picking loads of herbs today: basil, parsley, and 2 types of thyme. I also have some oregano to harvest and a little bit of rosemary, but I will come back for those. Because we have a pretty much year-round growing season, we're pretty lucky that we don't have to preserve herbs, because they, for the most part, if you care for them the right way, can grow year-round. But I do like to have dried herbs in the kitchen to make Italian seasonings and things like that. So we will harvest and dry some of these, and I'll show you how I do that quick and easy. One of my favorite things about having my own backyard garden is just getting to play with flowers and having enough flowers to make little bouquets for people to say thank you, or just to make them feel special anytime I want to without having to spend any money. It's a really sweet thing, and the kids really enjoy it as well. All right, time to bundle up those herbs. I simply use little rubber bands that I bought in bulk off Amazon like 800 years ago. Honestly, they come in a bag of 1,000, I feel like. They're sitting in our junk drawer, and I simply grab a few every time we do this. Just bundle them up with a little rubber band. I like the rubber band because you can stretch it off of the stems and easily hang it on these little hooks that I will show you here in a moment. So all over my house there are clear hooks that you can't see unless you notice something is hanging on them. And we're always usually alternating herbs and flowers to dry, or things that I'm trying to get seeds from. These are little command strip hooks, and I love that they're clear. I love that they can pull off without harming the paint. And they are so perfect for hanging herbs on a wall where I don't have any decor, so this doubles as functionality and aesthetic. And like I said, I have these hooks everywhere. So we also have them on most of our windowsills and window sidings, whatever you call that wood on the side. Window frames, there you go. On our window frames, so that I can hang these up all over the house. So if you're looking for a way to avoid little nails in your walls and don't have somewhere, because we have very high ceilings, so I can't make a cute herb hanging rack. I also will go around and hang them off of the mantle. I just feel like it adds some greenery, since I am definitely an indoor plant killer these days after I've had children. So my indoor plants pretty much consist of herbs hanging around the house now. Just collecting some seeds from these sweet flowers that we had hanging to dry. And now that our foliage has waken up in that water, I decided to play with flowers some more because nothing is more joyful than making flower bouquets that are so full of color. So on these days where we're spending a lot of time out in the garden, I have freezer meals put away for these occasions. So this is some venison meat that I pre-cooked and seasoned and separated into bags. So I'd say this is about 3 or 4 pounds. I'm making some spaghetti tonight. So it's already cooked. I have lots of videos on freezer meal prep. If you are interested in that, I can link some below. I find it to be very helpful in the kitchen to always be making things from scratch, but having things ready on busy days. Now we got some big, juicy tomatoes. This is not very common for the middle of summer here in Louisiana, or South Louisiana at least, especially if you are trying to be an organic gardener. Like I said, the bugs are fierce. They usually get to the tomatoes before I do, but I got lucky with some harvesting here in June of these big, beautiful tomatoes. And some of them had already been attacked by bugs, so we'll just cut out the impurities. And this is my favorite way to put away tomatoes. Now we'll make a super quick salsa with those tomatoes. I basically throw together all the usual pico de gallo ingredients: tomato, white onion, garlic, serrano pepper, lime, cilantro. Blend it all up. I'll add in some garlic powder and some salt. It's fast, it's fresh, and if you vacuum seal it, it'll keep in the fridge for probably up to 2 weeks. Ours never lasts that long, so I don't know. We usually just eat it within a few days or gift it to somebody, but it's a great way to use up a lot of tomatoes. Otherwise, they might sit on our counter and get soft and maybe honestly get fed to the chickens, since it's not a big enough harvest to can like for spaghetti sauce in the future or anything like that. This is usually gone within a few days, and it is so delicious and a great and easy way to use up tomatoes. So last up, we are going to ferment all of these peppers. This is seriously my favorite way to preserve jalapenos. I have a full video all about fermenting peppers that I'll link below if you want to go deep into it. But basically, I just pack them in a jar. You can add garlic if you want to, or any other seasonings. Then add a brine and let them sit on the counter for about 5 days. You can get creative, add onions or herbs or whatever you've got. And you can keep adding to your jar throughout the week. So if today's harvest is small, no big deal. You'll see that I do have a small harvest of these little red chili peppers, but that's fine. I will just keep adding to them. And then my favorite thing to do is to blend them up and make hot sauce. But not the jalapenos, those are sacred. Those go on everything Mama eats for a little added probiotics and for the best flavor. I know none of this was huge or fancy, but that's kind of the point. These little moments, these slow rhythms, these little harvests, they really add up. Gardening down here isn't always easy, especially in summer, but there's so much joy to be found in just doing what you can whenever you can. Whether it's harvesting a few tomatoes, hanging herbs to dry, or just spending time outside with your kids, it's all good work. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope this inspires you to dig into your own little patch of earth, even if it's just a pot on a windowsill. You don't have to do it all, just do a little, and let that be enough. See you next time. Bye, y'all.